as a beginner, I know that you hear the terms weld, attach, contour. Well, let me break it down with weld. Let's start with that. Weld you'll find under actions, and you'll actually be able to use it in different ways. First way that I'm going to tell you is if you're using cursive, you need to weld. The reason for this is because if you don't weld, the letters will cut individually. And even though you may see them attached like there, you're going to see that there's a break in each letter. Some fonts will not automatically be cursive as you would imagine, like together, but you can fix this by going to letter space and going into minus and getting it really close together. If you're working from your computer, you can actually unattach each letter and then just move them over, or use your arrow keys to get them together. The other way that you're going to use it is you're going to be able to create items that maybe you can't find easily or want to make your own. So for example, Mickey Mouse. Looks like a bear at first, but I'm going to fix it a little bit in the sizing. But overall, it's just to show you that you can have an image, you can make it all the same color, and you could have it ready to cut. I'm going to show you what it looks like before you weld when you want to make it, and then I'll show you once you actually weld. The other option is, let's say that there's a rectangle you're making, or square, or a shape, and you want to add a name to it, or some kind of wording. I like to do this for when I'm making a divider for my paper, or a divider for or a card or anything like that. I want to personalize it. So I'm just going to write my name on there and have it sit right on top. So it looks cute. It'll cut right. Well, when you hit make it, what's going to end up happening is that Jessica will be there, but you'll see a break in each letter. And just as you see it here, that's what's going to happen with the blade. It's going to cut through the I and the S and the S and the E. And so you get my point. So what Weld will do is it'll unite it. On top of that, Mickey Mouse wasn't together. Jessica and that square weren't together anymore. So this is how I wanted it, and it's not showing it like that. If I were to cut it here, if I were to fix it like this, it would cut the J individually, the E individually, the square individually, and it will not be attached. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight it and hit weld. Now, I have been asked, why did weld and not unite? I've been working in Cricut for 7 years, and unite wasn't even an item. I know it's been here for a year now. I never even noticed it, but that's because I've never used it. The difference between weld and unite is very small. They will make your image look the same, but with unite, you can undo unite. With weld, you cannot. Now, me personally, I'm sticking to it. Forget it. Weld is first. I'm good to go. But if you're not too sure if you're going to keep that image or not, you hit unite and you can create the same thing. The other thing is you have to have the items touching. For example, Jessica has to touch the square. If not, you're still gonna potentially cut it together, but there may be gaps between the S and the square and the E and the square and so on. So you have to make sure it's overlapping at least a little bit to make sure that it's completely unified. If you notice there, now it is. Jessica, same thing. You just click on it, weld it, and now you're good to go. If you want to hit make it, you're going to notice that each letter now is unified. You don't have to worry about a break within it. The I, the C, the A, all of that is together. There's no line between it. Mickey is all together as one solid image. And Jessica and that square are together as one solid image. Another way that I like to do this is actually including image and font, or image and some kind of wording. So I'm going to show you with a football. And the way that I do this is I'm going to go to open uploaded images. Usually it'll be the last couple images there. But if I want to search for something specific that I know I named it football, I would have to type it in. But it's always going to give me Cricut items. So I'm going to go and to that filter again. If you notice, upload is down below under my stuff, and I can go back to my images. Okay, football. If I want to add my name, my player's last name, my player's school, whatever it is that you want, same thing like you did with Jessica in that square. You type it up and you make sure that it's overlapping on each side that you're going to weld. So in this one, you're going to watch me struggle a little bit. If I were doing it 2 separate colors, I would say, cool, you're done. You don't have to weld. But because I wanted one solid color, I want to weld it. If it was not touching the top and the bottom line, you could actually attach it without a problem because then it won't cut together. But I want it to cut together. Why lose out that space? Why, not if I'm going to use the same colors? And that's what I'm doing here. I'm going to weld it together. Again, you have to make sure the top and the bottom touch the top and the bottom of your shape. So if you notice here, it's barely touching on some and not touching on others. So I'm still going to have that cut. And you can tell by that when you see a line between the A and the shape. You can also see it when you're going to cut. If you see a line between them, you should not see a line. You should actually see it all unified, and you're going to see it right now. So I made it a little bit bigger, unified it, welded it to make it a one image. And now you can see in the cut, there's no line between the C and the A and the bottom. You still see that line, means that I still didn't do it right, but you get the